Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful Trash Take. Today is a very exciting day. Today, we get to see the DOGE website with their savings up. Now, originally, the DOGE website was supposed to have these listed at Valentine's Day, and then it changed to over the weekend, and it's now Monday around 6:45 p.m., and I just noticed the website's up. I've been refreshing for maybe like once every 4 hours for the past few days, just because I've been really curious to see about this, because the media has been saying there's no transparency between this, which has been a bold-faced fucking lie, because there's been plenty of transparency. All you have to do is go on Twitter and look at the DOGE tweet list of them constantly posting how much money they're slashing and from what department it came from and for the reason why. They've been extremely transparent, more transparent than any government agency I think I've ever seen in American history so far. Like, openly transparent. So I've been looking forward to going through this. I've decided to try to do a lot more let's look at something live and react together type of content. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now let's look at the website. Like I said, or in my last video I made on this, they have a section that shows all the branches under the executive branch. And if you don't know which branch you want, you can look at these too. They're not fully available yet. It's just the executive branch has all the powers that Trump has the ability to modify their budget because they've already they're under him essentially. They are under his control. He is the president. He is the leader of the executive branch. The rest would require the government agencies basically to decide who to fire, who to hire, what their budget should be, and how to change it. That's up to them. Executive branch is Trump, and that's all the major agencies that DOGE has been going after right now. So now that they've got it launched, and liberals are freaking out already, I'm sure. I haven't looked on Twitter yet. They try to upload all of the information here, and they say, let's go ahead and start this off. Let's balance the budget. DOGE's total estimated savings are up to $55 billion, which is a combination of fraud detection / deletion, contract lease / cancellations, contract lease / renegotiation, asset sales, grant cancellations, workforce reductions, programmatic changes, and regulatory savings. What does that mean? They're literally trying to change everything from the ground up to make it more efficient. There's a lot of inefficiency in the system, whether it be basic audit where forms aren't being done that allow the government to track money, whether there's too many people hired on, whether there's too many offices and not enough employees employing them, which funny enough, if you look at the real estate in DC, so it turns out the entire real estate market in DC apparently has collapsed over the past few weeks because apparently when the people in DC are actually getting audited, they can't afford to keep skimming off a couple $1,000s here and there to pay their mortgage. So now a bunch of houses in DC are apparently going up on sale real quick. So kind of coincidental, you know. And at the same time, I'm not going to show it, but the Google search trends for lawyer, fraud, bank transfer to Cayman Islands, defense lawyer, all that kind of stuff has also been exponentially exploding, specifically in the Washington, D.C. area, where the United States Capitol is, where the Senate is, where the Congress is, where the president is, where the judicial branch is, and where the majority of these agencies reside. Now, what you'll make of all these coincidences, I don't know, but if you get enough points on a graph, I think it's fair you can draw a line. Anyways, back to the DOGE Department of Efficiency. So they also continue to give you a warning here. We are working on uploading all the data in a digestible and fully transparent manner with clear assumptions consistent with applicable rules and regulations. To get started, listed below are a subset of contract and lease cancellations for the former. The contracts listed are those that have been publicly posted on www.fpds.gov. Note that the FPDS is a final termination notice and can have 1 month lag. Specific listed contracts amounts for approximately 20% of the overall DOGE savings. So they're saying right now all they really have is the lease cancellations that they've done, and that's the best place they can start. Because a lot of the documentation that they do post, they do need to redact some of the information because it will have some personal data on there. But don't get me wrong, these are government employees. Them seeing your personal data is the same as the DMV people that are about to commit suicide or about to shoot up the entire place, looking to see what your name is, your social security number, and where you live is. Like, these are government employees. Them having your personal information isn't a real risk here. Besides the fact that every major credit agency in the United States has a massive hack every other year that leaks everyone's entire bank account, their home, their date of birth, and their social security number. The fact that people are upset about that is still moronic to me. But moving on, let's go ahead and start with USAID because that's the big one right now that has been absolutely getting annihilated. And turns out they're at the top budget here. And I do want to mention, what was the estimated number when Elon Musk bought Twitter? The EU came out and said, what, $40 million to end world hunger? Let's check that. When Elon Musk bought Twitter for $40 billion, the UN put out a big article saying if they had used that $40 billion, they could have ended world hunger. And Elon Musk clapped back at them at that point saying, give me an exact list itemized on where all the expenses would go, and I will also put $40 billion forward to ending world hunger. And you know what they did? Jack shit. They're lying. That's why. They don't have a way to end world hunger. They just want a virtue signal, and hating on Elon Musk has been popular since 2022. They're the original Redditors. I know you're upset about this. But anyways, let's look at what USAID has done so far. Can I? Oh, apparently it's total contract value savings. $0 saved. Okay, this is a little more. This isn't breaking it down by departments. Kind of upsetty spaghetti about this. Let's see. Uh, Commodity Future Trades Commission. What are these departments? Council of Inspectors of General Integrity and Efficiency, CFPDS. Terminate contract for completion or partial. Zero obligations, $24,000. So they saved about 24 grand there. So it looks like it is a bunch of $25 million here. Holy shit. Department of Agriculture, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We were going to pay $25 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion training in agriculture? You don't just want a farmer? You want a diversity farmer? This is a ridiculous amount of money. I have a feeling a lot of these are going to be like that because that's what they've been posting about on Twitter. And the reason I haven't covered it is because I wanted to give Elon a fair shot to make this as open as humanly possible. So I wanted to see what kind of data there is and what kind of items that they were being put forward to. Let's see. Oh, what the hell am I looking at here? Contract agency. So this is probably agency ID. So that's the government ID, which would translate to, which one did I just click on? 9999. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, training support, DE. Okay, so DEI is what that looks like. Can I see the full thing on here? Professional, educational training general. Oh, OWMI training support, DEIA training termination. So DEI, DIA, DEIA, it's basically all the same thing. So they were going to spend $10 million there twice, maybe? I don't know. Wait, yeah, this is different. Psychological safety. So another $10 million contract. Which you could probably go through this each individual one, but it looks like a lot of these, yeah. DEI assessment service, another $25 million for DEI? Did I just see that? Snap diversity? Wait, no. Why is it? What am I missing here? 25 for DEI, 25 for DEI. They have multiple for DEI that have popped up over the past month? Huh? How much money is the Department of Agriculture spending on DEI? Yeah, these are different companies that were basically given, they're different companies entirely that are giving DEI services. So these are two different agencies that have received $25 million respectively for DEI training for the Department of Agriculture. But wait, there's more. There's a third one on here. So how much was the Department of Agriculture spending on DEI? This is crazy to me. No wonder our country's going to shit. We're spending money on random companies that are giving the same product multiple times. Diversity.com advertising. We spent $500,000 on a website to put an ad up to buy DEI training. This is ludicrous, man. This is terrible. And this is American agencies. This is the Department of Agriculture. This should only be helping America. Wait, no, I lied. El Salvador and Honduras. Gender Assessment Consultant Services for Rainforest Service. No, we're not even spending it on American agriculture. We're going to Honduras to teach them DEI. And we didn't even save any money either. We already paid this out, apparently. El Paso? Oh, bro, that's 100% a scam. That's a shell company, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's great. Brazil Wildfire Management? Okay. Consultant Services? Okay, I mean, maybe that's a little better. That's something that's a little better, but like so much DEI shit. This is asinine. 360 assessment tool, analysis and reporting for agency leadership development. $2 million to develop leaders in the Department of Agriculture? WEPO training and employee development? What is, United States Department of Agriculture Resource Conservation Services and Development Program criteria and training. So we're paying millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for infinite trainings to the Department of Agriculture? I'm sorry. These are government employees that are these government employees that are receiving the training, or is it government outreach programs where they're training? I'd be curious to know if it's government outreach programs, maybe that's a little better, but why the fuck is the government paying for it? Environmental compliance services with implementation for pilot projects developed under the partnership of Climate Smart Commodities. $8 million for climate change in America when the biggest climate change and climate pain in the world is fucking China. Like, holy shit. Civil rights requests assistance in ongoing implementation of existing DEI, strategic plan aligned with the agency's overall. They spent $2 million on figuring out how much or how they want to aim DEI. Like, this is crazy. They've only saved 44 or $50 billion. And I'm seeing retards right now on Twitter say that's only 1% of the budget. They're not doing anything to help the budget. And that is the problem right now. The leadership in America is so fucking stupid. They don't see $55 billion being saved as anything major. That is wild. That is crazy. American leadership is used to writing checks that they're never going to have to cash because it's the taxpayers that will. They've been stealing funds for years now on end, and it's finally getting called in front of basically the public. The people are able to see where this money's going, and all these people that are guilty of basically paying off slush funds, they're not going to completely stop. But it's at least going to get exposed to the public. Unfortunately, the difference between malfeasance and fraud is kind of hard to tell. At a certain point, malfeasance or negligence becomes fraud, but negligence is still not something you can go to jail for the most part, unless people die. Fraud, however, is intentionally using a system and gaming the system for personal advantage. Malfeasance would be not doing your due diligence to make sure this loan that you're cashing out is actually to a real company besides some other guy that just created a fake company and he's just trying to scam the government, which apparently happened a lot during COVID funds. I saw Elon Musk was posting about that too on Twitter. A bunch of COVID relief aid that was loans that were paid out that are no longer having to be paid back. One of the funny ones was like Hellcat LLC. Some guy started a loan for government to help with COVID funds to buy a Hellcat. He basically straight up just called it Hellcat LLC. But I'm on a tangent. America's been in a downward spiral with its spending, and the fact that the Democrats are freaking out tells me they're the ones that are benefiting the most out of this. And don't get me wrong, there are some Republicans that are freaking out too, and I believe it's probably dirty people. Anyone who doesn't want the government to be audited on this is a fucking moron. Straight up, full stop, they're stupid. Why wouldn't you want the government to be audited? Are you really going to tell me that we should just allow the government to keep spending our money and hope it's for the best? Really? Is that your game plan here? You're just going to keep hoping and praying that your government's not screwing you over to line their pockets? Like Nancy Pelosi somehow on a senator's salary makes like $20 million a year off insider trading. That's screwing over people, using her position of power to line her pockets, which should never be done for anyone that has a position of power in politics. You're supposed to serve the people, not the other way around. And for so long, it's been ass backwards of the people in power serving their own individual interests before the people's. And now we have Elon Musk and Donald Trump in office that for once seem like they're actually doing something to help the American people. Both are already super rich and have nothing to gain and everything to lose from this. Look at Trump's net worth compared to, well, fuck, I can't do that anymore. That comparison's gone. I truly believe the media is doing everything they can to split up Trump and Elon. And right now, I think that they're the best hope America has for a future that doesn't look like absolute horse shit. Either way, I'm glad to see that the Doge website's finally up and running, and I'd be curious to see how it ends. I want to see how much money Elon's able to save by next year. I think from what I remember, all the funding for that department that they renamed to the Doge department stops in July of 2026. I think it goes on for about one more year or so. So Elon's got about another year to make some really big dents, and so far he's already cut down our budget by about 1% from, I don't know what our actual budget is. I'm just saying I saw on Twitter people saying that 55 billion was 1%. So I assume our budget is close to 5.5 trillion. I think that makes sense there. Yeah, if that's 1% times 10 would be 550 billion times 100 would be 5.5 trillion. Yeah, quick math. 1 + 1 = 2. Quick math. Anyways, thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you honestly think this is a bad idea and why we shouldn't have a government agency to make sure the other agencies aren't just frivolously spending our money, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know how retarded you are. Never mind, that's you letting me know how retarded you are if you're actually commenting on that. You're good, you're good. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful time. If you like the video, comment down below, or subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next one. Until then, later.